Tabu bossy buraka, Unzuaka Kaimapuro, and as an eye, Kana Chakawapuno bossy tabu bossy buraka. When I say what you cook, Kabia Moki Kekelo, but 7 1 note to an Ayaji Penaka, or Jingo Koroja, West Side, whatever Guna Mess. What else the Paya Moto, Gena Walibon, Gena Walaji, Gena Walibon, Gena Walolu, Wakela in a Wakela, know the Wakela for Wakela, and the run of the dozen song will of our challenge. Enu Uraji and our Raji, Mbu Uraji, and the Uraji Indish and Andoz and the Prezo Kukanka. Then go Biafra 1967 to 1970. Our fathers, our mothers, our brothers, our sisters, our cousins, our nephews, our friends. Then go Biafra 1967. So going to be a Uraji and Noble. I went to Nibe, going to be a Uraji Noble. I went to Nibe, going to Babra Yosia and abandon work, Babra Yosia and abandon money. Then I took Gungana, Guinea Nigeria. When I say Enu Uraji and Uraji, Mbuna get a niche and Andozo, Kono Uraji, I could pronounce the kind of Kunoji, no, but the table was a break. A Korean, a cook, Gabon, can do I know, and do I know, from do I know what? A Kekatrai Yoma go to try Yoma for try Yoma. Kako try Yoma Hanan is none, can they watch me and Annie, but you cook a cabin and go with Malaya. Whereas in the Yana Kuna, Kana Kuno, the Yana Kuno, the Kana Kuna, for Yana Kuna, for Kana Kuna, for Kana Kuna, for Kana Kuna, to Kana Kuna, to Kana Kuna here. Kana Kuna, Kana Kuna, as a boy and a cook of Biafra, Kana Kuna, Kana Kuna. When I see cook Cabamado, the Korean drive Mas and Nancano. The Biana, the Biano, the Biana for the Biana, the Biano to the Biana, the Biana, so Biana Matia, you and young the Naka, borders of my belly as a Bushita Cocos, a Buchitomoya. I love when another Arabu Biano Raya, no Boston Catao, Tessica Cogosiwade. Now a great school Cabiama, when I not Bisiala. Nya bonina Avana sidodo Umuna momo Biafra Ekeketra na Iyoma Kode wero tra na Iyoma ka for wefotra na Iyoma ndu ayi na eke ndu ayi no rie ndu ayi na fo ndu ayi na fo na ha Avana boku chukwu okike abia mo okike kelo obasibiri gwa nwanne otu onye ahụla ndo kwere kwa ma egwu narị atụ egwu agbakwuru zuru ike onye ike dị n'ọba aka ya Adonai ancient of days Elohim of our forefathers Elohim of our ancestors El Shaddai Hashem Most High God chukwu okike abia ma we committed our leader n'ụbọchị taa bụ ụbọchị bụrụ eke anyị na-asị n'ụbọchị taa bụ ụbọchị bụrụ eke n'isi onye ndu anyị bụ Maazị Nnamdi Okwu Kanu the Yeshua of our time, the Irokotri of our time, or Hamadike one, Ononekuri Bonine, Ononekuru Biafra Nine. When I said about the table, was a break, Nanabani, Ndianake, Ndianorie, Ndianafo, Ndiananqua, Ndiano Toto, Ndiana here, Ndianayasu, Gena Chukungana, Gena Ozi, Gena Negelozi. When I said Pachuquabia, Madodo, Nakawana, you okay? Buka, our Prime Minister. Biafra government in exile, autopilot, Mazi Simon A.M. When I say Chukwu okike abia ma n'ụbọchị taa bụ ụbọchị bụrụ eke na n'Igbo niile. Mmụọ eke ngị bụ ihe, ihe ọmasị na ihe ga-eri aka. Mmụọ orie ngị bụ mmiri, ndụ mmiri, ndụ azụ, ndụ agha bụ ndụ mmiri, iji agha bụ ije mmiri. Mmụọ afọ ngị bụ ana ya chekọta ya na eke, chekọta ya n'orie, chekọta ya na afọ, chekọta ya na nkwọ. Mmụọ gwọ ngị bụ ikuku na ihe ọmasị na ikuku ga-eri aka na ndụ ya ga-adị na eke na ndụ ya ga-adị n'orie na ndụ ya ga-adị n'afọ na ndụ ya ga-adị na nkwọ eje anaghị abụrụ isi ije wee na-asịkwa Chukwu okike abịa ma okike kele ụwa na ọ ga-adị ka echi na echi adị agwụ agwụ n'osisi pụtara ife dị bụ ụgbọ na ojiri gbuo ha Maazị Nnamdi Kanu ojiri egbu Maazị Nnamdi Kanu ojiri egbu Simon Ekpa ga-egbu onwe ya ọ ga-eti isi ya ngị na Chukwu ngị na ngị na ihe Naịjirịa na ozi ngị na-agwụ nsị ọha mehie ngị na ndị mbụ ndị egede ndị isi ya ndị ọzọ ndị kwuru eziokwu ka nka Chukwu debere ọkọrọfọ ọkọrọnkwa họwa ma ha nwaweza ọnọ n'ihu ndị nke ha duru mgboke duru zom iwu duru obi nwụba anụ ụmụ duru n'isi eke otu a si kwu ya ka o ga-esi anụ ọkịja niile otu a si kwu ya ka o ga-esi wede n'aha Great Chukwu okike abịa ma onye anyị na-akpụ isi ala enye mgbe niile a na-agwọ ọ na-ere nke mere ju oyi eme ọzọ isi emeghị ọṅụra anụ n'ebe ya when I say Chukwu okike abịa ma n'isi mụ IPOB indigenous people of Biafra the genuine ones indeed working as seriously to make sure that Biafra is restored in Biafra land. As the Chukwu okike abịa ma also the principal officers of Biafra government in exile autopilot ekeketara na ihe ọma ka o rerotara na ihe ọma ka fụfụtara na ihe ọma ka kwụpụtara na ihe ọma ndụ anyị na-eke ndụ anyị n'orie ndụ anyị na-afọ ndụ anyị na nkwọ gị na chukwu gị na gị na-enye Naịjirịa na ozi gị na-enye Naịjirịa ụra asọ okike ozi chukwu okike abịa ma okike gala ụwa gbasị dị n'igbe onye ezekwa dị enyeche chukwu okike abịa ma also guide us and protect us till Biafra is restored in Biafra land. Anywhere we are going chukwu okike abịa ma n'ụbọchị taa bụ ụbọchị bụrụ eke mmụọ eke ndị ibe ihe ihe masịrị ihe bịa ga-eru anyị aka mmụọ orie gị bụ mmiri ihe masị na mmiri ga-eru anyị aka mmụọ afọ gị bụ ana ihe masị na ana ga-eru anyị aka mmụọ nkwọ gị bụ ikuku na ihe masị na ikuku ga-eru anyị aka n'ụbọchị taa bụ ụbọchị bụrụ eke gị na chukwu gị na ana gị na-enye Naịjirịa na ozi gị na ihe na Naịjirịa ozi gị na-agwụ nsị ọha mee onye ọbụla mama aka nzu na aka nzu dị mma na we are whiter than snow na nzu enwe ntụpọ na Igbo na nzu bụ omenala Igbo niile na nzu bụ izizi a na-enye mmadụ na mmadụ bịa ebe mmadụ na ihe anyị na-ekwu okwu n'ụbọchị nke taa chukwu okike abịa ma na-ekwu ya na-ekwu okwu bụ Biafra ka anyị na-ekwu okwu bụ nwoke ọ bụ nwaanyị ọ bụ ndị onye ọbụla wherever they are planning evil against the total restoration of the kingdom of chukwu okike abịa ma na Solok Government House, House of Assembly, House of Senate, House of Rep, local government chairman, councilorship, community leaders, wherever they are planning evil against the children of the Most High, against Biafra restoration, against our leader, also against the Prime Minister of Biafra government in Nigeria, our brother Mazi Simon Ekpa. When I say the chukwu okike abịa ma okwu ọjọọ dị nke kwuru gọvanọ ahụ wekwa n'ụbọchị taa bụ ụbọchị bụrụ eke n'oge chere ha ozo kpasa ụkpasa na eke ozu akpọsa ụkpasa na orie ụkpasa ụkpasa na afọ ụkpasa ụkpasa na nkwọ n'ụbọchị ndụ ha niile oge chere ha azụ ihe niile bụ ihe ụjọ ọjọọ kwuru n'isi anyị ọ bụ iziri na nke a gbara n'isi anyị were sị gị chukwu okike abịa ma any evil plans of enemy in our land in our Biafra restoration wherever they are in planning against the total restoration of the kingdom of chukwu okike abịa ma in this planet earth in our Solok government house, House of Representatives, House of Assembly, House of Senate, House of Rep, local government chairman, councilorship, community leaders, traditional leaders, wherever they are in their planet earth, in the four corners of this planet earth, in their marine kingdom, in their Owonu kingdom, in their Ekaka kingdom, planning evil against the total restoration of the kingdom of chukwu okike abịa ma let their evil plan turn against their in eke ngina chukwu ngina na in orie ngina chukwu ngina na in afọ ngina chukwu ngina na n'ụtụtụ the evil plans of enemy will go back to them in the mighty name of chukwu okike abịa ma a na-agwọ ọ na-ele okike abịa ma n'aha chukwu okike abịa ma were sịkwa n'ụbọchị nke taa ka anyị na-ekwukwu okwu ya the land of the rising sun ga-enwe love and challenge anyanwụ ụtụtụ ka anyị na-akpọlite the land of the rising sun will love and challenge the land of the rising sun will love and challenge ha eke chukwu okike abịa ma anyanwụ ụtụtụ nke na-awara Igbo nke na-awara ọrụ wakela anyị na-eke wakela anyị n'oge wakela anyị n'afọ wakela anyị na nkwọ wakela anyị n'ụtụtụ wakela anyị na-ehihie wakela anyị n'anyasụ anyị ga-abụ ka ihe na ya na-ekwu okwu ebe na anyị ga-adị ka echi na echi adị agwa gwụ na osisi pụtara ife adịghị ekpo obodo anyị apụtaghị ife na ya apụtago na ya echigakwa azụ nakwa ya na-ekwu okwu abụ Biafra ekeketara anyị Biafra ka o rerotara anyị Biafra ka fụfụtara anyị Biafra ka nkwụpụtara anyị Biafra nga na chukwu nga na ana anyị sị na Biafra aka abịa na onye ga-atụ isi ya na eke onwe isi na eke tụ isi ya na orie onwe isi na orie tụ isi ya na afọ onwe isi na afọ tụ isi ya na nkwọ onwe isi na nkwọ onye asị chukwu okike abịa ma okike kele ụwa gbasị bi n'igwe nwanne otu onye aṅụlụ ndụ kwere nkwa mee ya ụgwọ anarị atụ egwu agbakwuru ezu n'ike wee na-asị nekwa nwanne anyị nwoke a bụ Biafra United Channel Television n'ụbọchị taa bụ ụbọchị bụrụ eke dubia na eke dubia na orie dubia na afọ dubia na nkwọ dubia na ụtụtụ dubia na ehihie dubia na anyasị ọpụpịa na mbatị adịghị n'aka ihe oriri ya ahụ dịghị n'aka chukwu okike abịa ma iburu ụzọ ma kpere azụ kpuchite ya ka ọkụkọ si ekpuchite ụmụ ya arapụkwana ya na rapụrụ bịa n'ururu anya n'aha Great Pope abịa ma were asịkwa n'ụbọchị nke taa the land of the rising sun will love and cherish chukwu okike abịa ma okike kele ụwa gbasị bi n'igwe anyanwụ ụtụtụ nke na-awara Igbo nke na-awara olu wakela anyị na eke wakela anyị n'orie wakela anyị n'afọ wakela anyị na nkwọ wakela anyị n'ụtụtụ wakela anyị n'ehihie wakela anyị n'anyasị pụpụ anyị na mbata anyị the land of the rising sun will love and cherish anyanwụ ụtụtụ n'ụbọchị nke taa ka anyị na-ekwukwe n'isi ya kewakerịa na ekewakerịa n'orie wakerịa n'afọ n'ekwu ụmụ IPOB n'isi ụmụ Biafra niile wakela anyị na eke wakela anyị n'orie wakela anyị n'afọ wakela anyị na nkwọ wakela anyị n'ụtụtụ wakela anyị n'ehihie wakela anyị n'anyasị pụpụ anyị na mbata anyị dịghị n'aka ya eri ya ahụ dịghị n'aka bụrụ azụ ma kpere ya azụ chukwu okike abịa ma n'isi nwanne anyị nwoke bụ Biafra United Channel otu anyị si wekwu ya n'isi ya ka ọ ga-esite n'isi ụmụ Biafra niile n'isi ụmụ IPOB niile n'isi indigenous people of Biafra niile n'ụbọchị taa bụ ụbọchị bụrụ eke otu anyị si kwu ya ka ọ ga-esi wee dị n'aha Great chukwu okike abịa ma onye anyị na-akpụ isi ala enye mgbe niile a na-agwọ ọ na-ere nke mere jụọ oyi emekwa ọzọ
ise 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 He say, good evening, good morning, and good afternoon, depending on your location. Wonderful people of Biafra, lovers of freedom all over the world. You are highly welcome to this very live presentation. Today's date is 29th of July 2024. And the time right now is exactly 22 minutes past 8 p.m. in the land of Chukwokika Biama. It is 22 minutes top of the hour, depending on your time zone, wherever you are. It is 22 minutes top of the hour. That means we are live and direct. I remain your one and only Ordinary One. You call me Ikuku, and I say yes, I embrace it. And this very live presentation is reaching you all the way from the studio of Biafra Unite channel / television. We are live and direct. We have come to do the needful this very evening because some people, they are now gathering. They want to occupy the position. They want to fill the void. Some idiots, some saboteurs want to fill the void left by the late Ifeanyi Ubah. We have come, of course, to devour them, to put them where they belong, because Emenumani, the freedom of Biafra remains sacrosanct, and there is nothing anybody can do to thwart it. I welcome every one of you once again. I can see your comments and names in the comment section. Victor Mbwemen, I can see. Please always let me know if you stop hearing my voice. As long as my voice keep coming out clear, of course, once my voice stops coming out, do not hesitate to let me know in the comment section. Very, very important. Of course, you know that the network is not stable. All right. Victor Mbwemen, I can see you. Jerry Wibo, you are welcome. Nabugu, you are welcome. Emmanuel Chidera Christian, you are welcome. Ozochuku, you are welcome. Mazu Gochuku, I can see you. William Elui, you are welcome. Clement Aneto, Onyenkem, you are welcome. Orus Official, you are welcome. Tonex Ogogo, I can see you. Sunday K, Blessed Sonny, Ngozi Promise, Oka for John, Casey Frank, Apoke Okereke, you are welcome. Joseph Naku, you are welcome. Oji Ugochuku, Franco Koye. Oh my goodness me, the names are too many as the comments keep coming thick and fast. Prince Ifeanyi Chukwu, you are welcome. I can see you. Chidera Christian, Benny Wu, Lolo Noma, Prince Ifeanyi Chukwu, you all are highly welcome. Jududino, you are welcome. You all are highly welcome to this very live presentation. We have to continue immediately without further hesitation because, of course, time is no longer on our side. Kingsley Isaac, I can see you. You are welcome. Tonex, you are welcome. Chika Emmanuel, you are welcome. Joseph Nako, Michael Eminem, Ayole, you are welcome. Darton in Finland, I can see you. Chuku Diozo, Abi, Simon Son, Autopilot, you are welcome. Ozo Chuku, you are welcome. Okay, we have to continue immediately. Please pardon me if I do not mention your name because of time. Of course, keep commenting. Once your comment draws my attention, I will definitely do the needful by bringing it to the screen. If you are joining me right now, this is live presentation. We are live and direct. And like as I always say, Chukwokika Biama Bineligwe is bearing us witness. Once you join me, endeavor to welcome others by doing the needful, of course. Now, without wasting any time, let us begin with this very latest development. Going by the title of this very live presentation, I have written, Another Ifeanyi Ubah Emerges. another Ifeanyi Ubah has emerged. There's the Prime Minister, Mazi Simon Ekpa, and of course, Biafra, as our 4 days lockdown begins with success. Today, our 4-day lockdown begins with success. So we are going to mix the two, the two topics. We are going to mix two of them together because the idiot who is now trying to become the next biggest saboteur, who we don't even know before. We didn't know him before. We never knew he has been existing. All of a sudden, boom, he just came. Occupy your office. He will make himself the biggest willing tool of the Fulani oligarchy. So, but we know them. We know how to deal with them. And this one is not going to be exception. I can assure him. Now, the two topics we have at hand, which is another Ifeanyi Ubah, emerges, there's Simon Ekpa and Biafra, which is the first topic. And the second topic is our 4 days lockdown begins with success today. So we are going to mix two of them because the same idiot said something that went contrary to the reality on ground. So without wasting any time, let us listen to the Okoko.
The conversation, very important. Let me start with you, Mazi, since you're coming, the passion that you've brought in. Well, you say some things, and I love the passion. But you're talking about the outcome of when the peaceful EndSARS protest was hijacked, and how you couldn't go to the market, go to your business. But in the East currently, they still sit at home on Mondays. Are you also galvanizing this same passion to ensure that this irregularity, is regularized? I don't know what you think about that, what your people think about that, because It's very important. Because if you're saying that you were not able to go to the market, some people, their businesses have been disrupted for months and months. I want to understand what, in terms of the advocacy for that is. And then
now, I want you to pay very, very good attention to this. A lot of things happen during this very interview, and we are here to analyze it. We have come here to analyze it properly. Of course, those of you who follow our PM's, X handle, or those of you who usually visit his X handle must have seen this, a clip of video concerning this very development. So this is today. This is not just today, but this evening. So it is current. It's a new video, brand new video. So we are here. I'm going to play the full episode and analyze it bit by bit. And I want you to pay very, very good attention. In fact, if you know the idiot, I will show you his name in a jiffy. If you know the idiot, I want you to tag him. Bring him here. Tell him we have come, we have landed to his office. I want you to tell the Okoko, we have remembered him. He has been gallivanting. He has been running up and down behind the scene for the past 3-4 years, claiming to be the chairman of the president of Ohaneze Youth Council. But first of all, Ohaneze has become a defunct organization as far as Biafra land is concerned. If I want to bring it closer to the one they will understand, as far as Alibo is concerned, Ohaneze has been a defunct organization. It's no longer non-existent. It has been banned by the Biafra government. And it remains banned whether they like it or not. So, as if that is not enough, we have also giving them vote of no confidence. Even before the permanent ban of the Ohaneze criminals or criminal organization, we had already given them vote of no confidence. So they are irrelevant. And since we pass vote of no confidence on them, they have become useless as defecation. They have become useless as defecation. Even defecation is even more useful because you can use it for manure. You can use it for manure. But these people has become as useless as I don't know because they are irrelevant. I don't know what to compare their uselessness in our label. So remember the question. The question is, because I don't want to take it back, because if I take it back a little bit, you will see where he talked about the proposed or the planned protest or end bad governance protest in Nigeria or hunger protest in Nigeria. So he talked about it, but because I don't want to give credit to that very protest, that planned protest, but I am still using this opportunity to encourage the youths of Nigeria to carry out their protest. Go ahead. In fact, go to Abuja. Make sure that you enter Asorok as you start this protest. I am in support of you. I support you wholeheartedly, 100%. Make sure you don't stop the protest. If you start, don't stop, because the time you stop during the EndSARS, those that were illegally abducted by police and army are still languishing in the various custodies, police custodies and military barracks all across the Zoological Republic. So since then, nobody is fighting for them. And they are hopeless as it stands today. So once you start, do not stop until you get your demand. So I'm encouraging them to carry on their protest, but please make sure that you leave Biafrans out of your protest. We are not involved, as we are not Nigerians. We are Biafrans. Our sole target is freedom. We are not in support of any, not in support. Supporting Nigerian youth to protest is a different thing, but joining Nigerian youth to protest is another thing, and it's a different thing entirely. So we are not in any way joining Nigerian youth to protest. We have been sitting at home for the past 3 years, and we are not stopping anytime soon until our demand is met. That is how you know a determined people. You don't just come on social media to say, yes, protest. If it does protest under 2 days, that is not how to do to make a demand and get what you demand for. You don't get your demand, you don't get your reward when you come out in the street to protest. After 2 days, you run to your mother's wrapper and hide yourself in your mother's kitchen. You don't get any reward. Rather, we go into another dimension, another kind of suffering that you never envisaged. So you must continue with your protest, but leave Biafrans out of it. We are Biafrans and we want freedom, outright freedom from the Zoological Republic. We are not in support of you, not in support. We support you, but we are not involved. So go on and do your thing. Now, after the question was asked, this buffoon here, this idiot, about the protest, because he is against the protest, I think I should take it back. Let us start from that. Let us begin with his idiocy, so that you will understand the question, where the question is coming from. But I will allow you to play. I'm going to allow you to play because I don't have time to analyze it. So I will allow you to play concerning the protest, and then we'll start from this same place where we are right now, where the question concerning Biafra was asked to the idiot. Now let's continue.
On the table on reduction of fuel.
Ariasan, let's hear from Mazi.
Thank you.
Mazi Nabuke. Your take.
Thank you. Thank you.
The Youth Council Worldwide and the National Publicity Secretary of Nigerian Ethnic Nationality Leaders Worldwide.
Let me also let you know, the idiot started with his name is, he said he's Ohaneze Youth Council leader, or Ohaneze President Youth Council, or whatever he called himself. This idiot is the factional leader of Ohaneze Youth Council. Let me make it clear. He is under Okechukwu Isiguzoro. I will do a lot of things this evening. I don't mind how many hours this very broadcast is going to take. But I want to advise you to stay tuned. This idiot, because of his video and who he works with, has necessitated let me bring it down. Let me bring it down. I don't want to use too much grammar for this. Because of his stupidity and idiocy this evening, I have found it very, very necessary and imperative to visit the activities, the old activities of his principal, who happens to be Okechukwu Isiguzoro. So, I'm going to play some videos from his group, from his gang, starting from their battle against Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, their fight against Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Because there is something, he said something here. So that thing that he said here will now make me bring old videos for us to expose them to the maximum and for Biafrans to see who are the people talking to them. Once you are joining me here, please do not hesitate to welcome others. Very, very important. I have said that I will stop asking our people to share my broadcast. Once I welcome you, don't hesitate to welcome others. We are spreading the gospel. Now let's continue.
Please, first of all, I'm calling on my people.
You can see his name is Mazi Oku Nnabuike. His name is Mazi Oku Nnabuike. And of course, he doubled as the National Publicity Secretary of NENYLCW. This name is what they call, they say it is National Youth, whatever nonsense. They call themselves national youth leaders. That is what they call themselves. So, but at the same time, he doubles as the President General of Ohaneze Youth Council, not the Ohaneze of Iwanyangu and the Isigu, and Ibayaka. There's another Ohaneze Youth President known as Ibayaka. I think I have his picture here. So you all know this dude, right? You all know this guy. He's among the criminal element we have, who usually like to, paint himself as white and gold. He never want to show anybody that he is one of them, but he's one of them actually. So this one now you are seeing on your screen is called Ibayaka. He is also the President General of Ohaneze Youth Council under the side of Iwanyangu's Ohaneze. You can see sometimes he followed our, our lawyers, especially Barisalo Ejimako. And even before Barisalo Ejimako, he was following, they planted him. The DOS planted him under Madubugu. They used to go to the court whenever our leader was coming to court. So because he was planted by the DOS, he's never one of us. He is not one of us. He is a one Nigerianist, and that's why we can never work with this type of person or this type of people. Now, this is the another Ohaneze Youth Council president, the defunct Ohaneze. Remember that. Now, this one now on your screen, parading himself as the President General of Ohaneze Youth Council, is the one working with Okechukwu Isiguzoro, which I'll be playing his video in a jiffy. So let's continue.
Well, and mostly the youths that under my constituency, so stay away from the protests. We'll be victim of the last NSAS protests. It was nothing to write home about. So we can't fold our hands and watch the same scenario take place again. The youths are the victim. And by me looking at the way and the mood and the utterances and body language of the organizers, the faceless organizers, we cannot encourage our youths, Nigerian youths, to join. Because one journalist called me yesterday and was asking me, what do you think that may be the outcome of the protest? I said, the outcome, as always, the atmosphere is not conducive because around some countries in Africa, there were protests. And some people are trying to copy those things that were happening maybe somewhere in Kenya or other to bring it here so that they can shut our nation down. They can set the country ablaze. That we as critical stakeholders, who cannot join to do that. We can't push it because we were not consulted. As the apex ethnic youth organization in Nigeria, we should be consulted. We should sit down and talk and dialogue. Go to President Ahmed Buhari.
Who made this idiot a president general or secretary? How did he become a secretary general or whatever they call him? It's already an insult that you are protecting an illegitimate government of Tinubu and Tinubu himself, yet you cannot pronounce his name properly at the word go. Even though you correct yourself later, you can't mispronounce the name of your president. It is in fact, it's not just a crime, it is a treason. Although I'm just exaggerating. But how do you explain mispronouncing the name of your president in a national television? How do you explain that? Like, seriously? I said I'm not going to analyze this part of protest of a thing because this is not what I want to do this evening. But let me play that part again. I want Tinubu himself, that this idiot is protecting, to listen. If you know you are working for Tinubu, you are his, you are one of his, how do they call it? How do they call the cabinet? If you are one of his cabinet and you are watching this very live broadcast this moment, I want you to draw the attention of your principal to make sure that this Sabo on your screen never in any way see his way to Asorok, because that is what he's fighting for. The idiot is clearing his way to Asorok. Any Igbo man you see talking against Biafra, speaking against the freedom of our people, is either he has already started making us dry, is either he has already opened his way to Asorok and he's already there.
Talk and dialogue. Go to President Ahmed Buhari. And talk and dialogue. Go to President Ahmed Buhari. President Bola Tinubu is a listening president. He watches, he cares. So this is just 1 year in office. It's a nascent government. Just 1 year in office. All these brouhaha are not supposed to come there. We should give the government a chance. We're not holding brief for them, but on national interests. Because if you march on, there are many hoodlums everywhere That is hunger. So somebody can even attack the police having AK-47. Some of them can come to attack a soldier having AK-47. And in the defense of himself, attack a soldier. Somebody can even attack the police having AK-47. Some of them can come to attack a soldier having AK-47. And in defense of himself, he might pull the trigger. What you do? There are many hoodlums of everywhere. That is hunger. So somebody can even attack the police having AK-47. Some of them can come to attack a soldier having AK-47. And in defense of himself, he might pull the trigger. The next thing you will hear is that the same thing that happened during the NSAS has happened again. They will mess every place up. Demolish property, government property. During the NSAS, for 1 month, we couldn't go to bank in Enugu. There was no ATM, there was no bank.
Probably no,
nowhere to get
this.
money.
He said
everywhere
the unity of Nigeria is non-negotiable. That clearly indicates that he's not going to relent in his push to silence any voice of dissenting as far as that position is concerned. So which way forward to heal the divide between or amongst the Nigerians, especially on Biafra crisis?
I think the best thing is to ask them what they want. I remember one time Professor Wole Soyinka said, if we can continue fighting Biafrans for such a long time, it's not long before we go to war, which is actually happening right now. Why don't we ask them what they want? And for sure they have voiced and they have said it, that they want referendum. Why? Because for a long time, they do not have a mutual understanding with the rest of the Nigeria nation. They are not understood. They are marginalized for such a long time. They are not wanted by the rest of the Nigerian government. So the best thing is to take them to a referendum so that we know exactly what they want and separate them if that is exactly what they want. Why? Because if we continue like this, these are crises not only in Nigeria, but it will have a ripple effect to the bordering countries. And with time, it will have a big effect to the African countries. As I'm talking, Africa has the largest immigrants to the world. It has the largest refugees to the rest of the continents. Why is that so? It's because of such crises that we can see in Biafra and Amazonia and other countries like Sudan. So I think before we even move forward, it's very important that we give or they're given referendum. From there, they can be able to sort out the rest of the challenges. And it's quite unfortunate because we have diplomatic missions in Nigeria. Why can't they take that issue with them and sort it out? Why are they quiet? Why is the world quiet when Biafrans are suffering? Why is the world are quiet when we know very well that such issues can affect the whole of the whole of the African continent. It's quite sad, and that's why as Punchline Africa TV will continue talking to the world and saying that these people need a referendum. They're not needed. If you honestly you don't need me in your space, give me what I want so that I can self-govern myself, which I think it's a good way and a diplomatic way of allowing people to go their way.
That would be cool. Coupled with that, I would like you to approach it from a different angle altogether. What probably could have informed this agitation for, of course, separation, for a referendum to go separate ways between, of course, Nigeria and the people of Biafra? Let's approach it from that angle, as you and ask ourselves, what probably can we do to see into it that we find a healing in this divide?
Yeah, I think it's paramount to understand that for starters, there was no redemption, and the word you just used, healing, from the first Biafran crisis in 1967, to the 3 years fighting. And if you remember very well, there was a brief period where they got their independence, and then the Nigerian military decided to send all the planes to just bomb indiscriminately anybody who was found in that region. And those scars are passed on in what is called transgenerational trauma. You don't even have to tell your child about this. It's the same thing that affects most African countries. You don't really need to tell your child, hate this person or hate this person, but the way you behave and the way you talk about these things and the tone with which you use, your children pick that, and then they grow up with that. They send it to their children and their children's children, and each generation comes forth understanding their history and knowing very well that we are the people who have been marginalized in a country where we are one of the most, we are creating profit. We're bringing GDP, one of the highest rates of GDP. We're bringing the largest group of intelligent people. We're bringing the largest group of talented people. And yet we are the people who are not benefiting from all this. And this crisis goes on in most of the countries that we are finding, we are finding, in the African continent with protests currently like Amazonia and Ethiopia. If you bring in another angle of how the Nigerian government has been dealing with this agitation, I believe, or I think, if they were to avoid the situation that they're finding themselves in, they really should have addressed the issue of why there was a Biafran war. There was a Biafran war, rather, in the first place. As it is, they are taking the Paul Biya approach of assuming everything is fine because we're in Lagos, while everything is not fine. People continue to die. You continue to apply the colonial methodology of handling protests, and that is arresting people arbitrarily, disappearing people arbitrarily. For a very long time, we don't know where Nnamdi Kanu is. That should not happen in this day and age. For a very long time, I don't know how many Biafrans have disappeared, how many have run from their homes, fearing persecution or fearing death. And that is a very old, very archaic way of dealing with these protests. Most of these African governments could have benefited and could have avoided this crisis if they came forth and asked the people, what is it we can do for you? Where did we go wrong? How can we institute healing to begin in the Biafran region to start with? How can we make sure that we set up, even if it's a ministry, or talk to the Ministry of Devolution, because Nigeria was one of the countries that started the federal system in Africa, and yet you have people with no roads. It makes zero sense, and that is a very it's a very bad conviction on devolution in Africa. So as it is, I think the onus is on the Nigerian government, first of all, to understand why there was a Biafran war in the first place, and
has remained adamant that he probably is not going to allow this. He said the unity of Nigeria is non-negotiable. That clearly indicates that he's not going to relent in his push to silence any voice of dissenting as far as that position is concerned. So which way forward to heal the divide between or amongst the Nigerians, especially on Biafra crisis?
I think the best thing is to ask them what they want. I remember one time Professor Wole Soyinka said, if we can continue fighting Biafrans for such a long time, it's not long before we go to war, which is actually happening right now. Why don't we ask them what they want? And for sure they have voiced and they have said it, that they want referendum. Why? Because for a long time, they do not have a mutual understanding with the rest of the Nigeria nation. They are not understood. They are marginalized for such a long time. They are not wanted by the rest of the Nigerian government. So the best thing is to take them to a referendum so that we know exactly what they want and separate them if that is exactly what they want. Why? Because if we continue like this, these are crises not only in Nigeria, but it will have a ripple effect to the bordering countries. And with time, it will have a big effect to the African countries. As I'm continent, as I'm talking, Africa has the largest immigrants to the... It's Young Flight on the beats.
The silver-jacket body with Biafra gun, Umokoko, mad people everywhere. Dara. What you don't know is bigger than you. 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 Hey, he dey pay me, oh, gaga. He dey pay me, oh, gaga. He dey pay me, oh, gaga. This your G, he dey pay me, oh, gaga. The worst thing you can do to a black man is to tell the black man the truth, yeah. The worst thing you can do to a black man is to tell the black man the truth, yeah. Ah, he dey pay me, oh, gaga. Mama, he dey pay me, oh, gaga. In this OG, he dey pay me, oh, gaga. Sabotu Asi dey pay me, oh, for you. Obi that it, obi them fools everywhere. Obi that it, obi them fools everywhere. Obi that it, obi them fools everywhere. When we talk about our freedom, we not go the fence. When we talk about our freedom, they go the fence. When we talk about our freedom, they go the fence. Yeah, he dey pay me, oh, gaga. Mama, he dey pay me, oh, gaga. In this OG, he dey pay me, oh, gaga. Sabotu Asi dey pay me, oh, gaga. Yeah. Biafra voice, 247. Love you, we love you, everything me blood, brother man, you know. We go Chris, Chiamaka, Oga Rough, Rasta man of God. Love you, yeah. Biafra, you know. Ikuku, bad guy, you know. Water master, love you. I can't see how I go on. I get you away with a minute. All them enemies of Biafra, mad people everywhere. You are living in darkness, suffering and smiling. When we talk about a freedom, now go the face. You are living in darkness, suffering and smiling. When we talk about a freedom, now go the face. Yeah, he dey pay me, oh, for you. He dey pay me, oh, gaga. Africans, he dey pay me, oh, gaga. This your G, he dey pay me, oh, gaga. Ah, he dey pay me, oh, gaga. Omo, he dey pay me, oh, gaga. I don't know what's wrong with the reasoning ability of a black man. My God. Come on, maximum respect. Yeah, he dey pay me, oh, for you. He dey pay me, oh, gaga. Africans, he dey pay me, oh, gaga. This your G, he dey pay me, oh, gaga.
All right, welcome back, wonderful people of Biafra, lovers of freedom all over the world. Please, if you can hear me, let me know from your end. If my voice is coming out clear, please let me know from your end so we can continue. The only thing we cannot do is to give up We cannot give up. We have to continue. This very message must be delivered. Whether the enemy likes it or not, we must continue. And of course, we must continue from where we stopped.
AK-47. Some of them can come to attack a soldier having AK-47. And in defense of himself, he might pull the trigger. The next thing you will hear is that the same thing that happened during the NSAS has happened again. They will mess every place up. Demolish properties, government properties. During the NSAS, for 1 month, we couldn't go to bank in Enugu. There was no ATM, there was no bank, nowhere to get money. No. Thing you will hear is that the of himself hunger. So somebody can even attack the police having AK-47. Some of them can come to attack a soldier having AK-47. And in defense of himself, he might pull the trigger. The next thing you will hear is that the same thing that happened during the NSAS has happened again. They will mess every place up. Demolish properties, government properties. During the NSAS, for 1 month, we couldn't go to bank in Enugu. There was no ATM, there was no bank. Nowhere to get money. No, everywhere was damaged. All the road blocked. So please, we are begging our fellow youths because we are the ones to be used. And the Igbo youths cannot associate with that. Our properties, we have over 13 trillion investments in Nigeria. We are the highest investor in this country. We are more Nigerians than other ethnic groups in this country because anywhere you go, there's an Igbo man. And we have our businesses all over. So, and anything that happened.
Mazi. All right. I think it's a very interesting statement, especially if you cannot substantiate it with facts to say that you are more ethnic or more Nigerian than other Nigerians. There's no Nigerian that's more Nigerian than any other Nigerian. And I think just maybe you're saying it out of sentiment. Maybe it's very passionate. All right. Let's center on the conversation. Very important. Let me start with you, Mazi, since you're coming, the passion that you're brought in. Well, you say some things, and I love the passion. But you're talking about the outcome of when the peaceful NSAS protest was hijacked and how you couldn't go to the markets, go to your business. But in the East currently, they still sit at home on Mondays. Are you also galvanizing this same passion to ensure that this irregularity, is regularized? I don't know what you think about that, what your people think about that, because it's very important. Because if you're saying that you were not able to go to the market, some people, their businesses have been disrupted for months and months. I want to understand what, in terms of your advocacy for that is. And then for Are, I'd like you to ask you, how many groups do you represent? Hold on a second, please. How many groups do you represent? How many young people do you, are under your umbrella? Because Mazi said that you were not consulted, and as the Paramount Youth Forum, you ought to have been notified before the young people took to the streets. Apex. So I want to know how many, what the numbers are, and is this usually a procedure that before the young people come out to protest, you should be informed? I'll start with Mazi, and then Ari, you're next, please. Mazi.
Thank you. I'm happy for your question because I told you I'm a critical stakeholder and of Igbo youth worldwide. The issue of sit at home in the Southeast, actually, it came initially, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu were arrested. But the critical stakeholders, after sitting down to dialogue, to talk about the effects on our economy of Igbo in the Southeast, the IPOB, the indigenous people of Biafra, cancelled the sit at home. But one criminal in Thailand
anyị mapụkwacha na nzu n'ụbọchị taa bụ ụbọchị bụrụ eke nzu eke ka anyị mapụrụ wee na-asị na anyị ọchị ka anyị na-achọ ka anyị wapụ n'ụbọchị taa bụ ụbọchị bụrụ eke wee na-asịkwa Chukwu okike abịa ma okike kele ụwa gbasịbe n'igwe nwanne otu onye na ya jikwa n'aka abụọ ji nke nwe gị kọrọ ọjị a wee sị anyị were akwụkwọ egwu na-agabịa na mmezu wee na-asịkwa anyanwụ ụtụtụ nke na-awara Igbo nke na-awara ọjị nke na-awara Igbo nke na-awara olu wakela anyị na-eke wakela anyị n'oge wakela anyị n'afọ wakela anyị na nkwụ dị na ọnọdụ dancing song wey love and challenge enu were ọjị ana were ọjị mbụ were ọjị agide were ọjị ndị ichie na ndị ọzọ na ndị kwuru eziokwu ka nka ndị mmiri ọgụ Biafra 1967-1970 our fathers, our mothers, our brothers, our sisters, our cousins, our nephews, our friends. Ndị mmiri ọgụ Biafra 1967 so unu bịa were ọjị ya n'ogbe ka anyị weta ya n'ibe ka unu bịa were ọjị n'ogbe taa ka anyị wetakwa n'ibe ka unu gbabara ya osiarị na be ndị mmụọ ka gbabara na osiarị na be ndị mmadụ ndị na Chukwu ngị na ngị na Nigeria na ozi were sị enu were ọjị ana were ọjị mbụ na egede ndị ichie na ndị ọzọ ka unu were ọjị ya kwukwere na nzu ka anyị na-ekwu n'ọjị n'ụbọchị taa bụ ụbọchị bụrụ ekekere ya na-ekwu okwu ya bụ ndụ anyị na-eke ndụ anyị n'orie ndụ anyị na afọ ndụ anyị na nkwọ ekeketara anyị ọma ka ododo tara anyị ọma ka afụfụ tara anyị ọma ka nkwọkwọtara anyị ọma ahịa na izu na nọ nke ndị Igbo ji eme ihe na ndị Igbo Chukwu okike abịa ma ngo onwe gị mara ya were sị na ya na-ekwu na eke ka anyị na-ekwu n'orie ya na-ekwu n'ode ka anyị na-ekwu n'afọ ya na-ekwu n'afọ ka anyị na-ekwu na nkwọ ka anyị na-ekwu na nkwọ ka anyị na-ekwu n'ụtụtụ ka anyị na-ekwu n'ụtụtụ ka anyị na-ekwu n'ehihie ka anyị na-ekwukwo n'ehihie ka anyị na-ekwu n'anyasị bụ ya anyị na-ekwu gwa Biafra ka anyị na-ekwu na eke ka Biafra ka anyị na-ekwu n'owe na-asị Chukwu okike abịa ma dododo onye ndụ anyị bụ Maazị Nnamdi Kanu dubia na eke dubia na ode dubia na afọ dubia na nkwọ dubia na ụtụtụ dubia na ehihie dubia na anyasị dubia na maazị adịghị n'aka ihe oniyo ya ṅụdịghị n'aka bụrụ ụzọ ma bịara ya azụ kpuchite aka ọkụkọ si ekpuchite ụmụ ya alapụkwara na ọdịrị arapụrụ bịa n'oruru ahịhịa n'ụbọchị nketa otu esi gwa ka oge si wadị n'aha Great Chukwu okike abịa ma onye anyị na-akpụ isi ala enye mgbe niile agha na-asị dododo ụmụnne m ụmụ Biafra ekeketara na ihe ọma ka o wee rutere na ihe ọma ka afọ wefọtara na ihe ọma ka ndụ anyị na-eke ndụ anyị n'orie ndụ anyị na afọ ndụ anyị na nkwọ n'aha anyị na-akpọ Chukwu okike abịa ma okike kele ụwa gbasịrị n'igwe nwanne otu onye aṅụrụ ndụ kwere kwa mee ugwu narị atụ egwu agbakwuru zuru ike onye ike niile dị n'ọba nka ya Adonai Ancient of Days Elohim of our forefathers, Elohim of our ancestors, El Shaddai, Hashem, Most High God, Chukwu okike abịama. We committed our leader n'ụbọchị taa bụ ụbọchị bụrụ eke anyị na-asị n'ụbọchị taa bụ ụbọchị bụrụ eke n'isi onye ndu anyị bụ Maazị Nnamdi Okwu Kanu, the Yeshua of our time, the Irokotri of our time, Ọhamadike one ọnụ na-ekwuru Igbo niile ọnụ na-ekwuru Biafra niile wee na-asị n'ụbọchị taa bụ ụbọchị bụrụ eke na naba anyị ndụ ya na-eke ndụ ya n'orie ndụ ya n'afọ ndụ ya na nkwọ ndụ ya n'ụtụtụ ndụ ya n'ehihie ndụ ya n'anyasị ngị na Chukwu ngị na ana ngị na ihe na-ejere ala ozi ngị na ihe ana na-ejere ozi wee na-asịkwa Chukwu abịa ma dododo nakwa nwanne anyị nwoke bụkwa our prime minister Biafra government in exile autopilot Maazị Simon Ekpa wee na-asị Chukwu okike abịa ma n'ụbọchị taa bụkwuru ụbọchị bụrụ eke na n'Igbo niile mmụọ eke ngị bụ ihe ihe ọmasị na ihe ga-eri aka mmụọ orie ngị bụ mmiri ndụ mmiri ndụ azụ ndụ agha bụ ndụ mmiri iji agha bụ ije mmiri mmụọ afọ ngị bụ ana ya echekọta ya na eke chekọta ya n'orie chekọta ya na afọ chekọta ya na nkwọ mmụọ nkwọ ngị bụ ikuku na ihe ọmasị na ikuku ga-eri aka na ndụ ya ga-adị na eke na ndụ ya ga-adị n'orie na ndụ ya ga-adị n'afọ na ndụ ya ga-adị na nkwọ eje anaghị abụrụ isi ije wee na-asịkwa Chukwu okike abịa ma okike kele ụwa n'oge adị ka echi na echi adị agwụ agwụ n'osisi pụtara ife dị gbogbo na ojiregbu aha Maazị Nnamdi Kanu ojiregbu Maazị Nnamdi Kanu ojiregbu Simon Ekpa ga-egbu onwe ya ọ ga-etinye isi ya ngị na Chukwu ngị na ngị na ihe Naịjirịa n'ozi ngị na-agwụ nsị ọha mehie ngị na ndị mbụ ndị egede ndị ichie ndị ọzọ ndị kwuru eziokwu ka nka Chukwu debere Ọkọrọfọ Ọkọrọnkwa Ọwa ma ha nwaweza ọnọ n'ihu ndị nke ha duru mgboke duru zomiwu duru obi nwụba anụ ụmụ dura n'isi eke otu a si kwu ya ka o ga-esi anụ ọkịja niile otu a si kwu ya ka o ga-esi wede n'aha Great Chukwu Okike abịa ma onye anyị na-akpụ isi ala enye mgbe niile a na-agwọ ọ na-ere nke mere ju oyi eme ọzọ isi emeghị nwere anụ n'ebe ya were na-azakwa Chukwu Okike abịa ma n'isi mụ IPOB indigenous people of Biafra the genuine ones indeed working as seriously to make sure that Biafra is restored in Biafra land. Eze Chukwu Okike abịa ma also the principal officers of Biafra government in exile autopilot eke ketara na ihe ọma ka o rerotara na ihe ọma ka fụfụtara na ihe ọma ka kwụkwọtara na ihe ọma ndụ anyị na-eke ndụ anyị n'orie ndụ anyị na-afọ ndụ anyị na nkwọ ngị na Chukwu ngị na ngị na-enye Naịjirịa na ozi ngị na-enye Naịjirịa ụra asọ kiji ozi Chukwu Okike abịa ma okike gara ụwa gbasị dị n'igbe when I say the angel Chukwu Okike abịa ma also guide us and protect us till Biafra is restored in Biafra land. Anywhere we are going Chukwu Okike abịa ma n'ụbọchị taa bụ ụbọchị bụrụ eke mmụọ eke ndị ibe ihe ihe masịrị ihe bịa ga-eru anyị aka mmụọ orie ngị bụ mmiri ihe masị na mmiri ga-eru anyị aka mmụọ afọ ngị bụ ana ihe masị na ana ga-eru anyị aka mmụọ nkwọ ngị bụ ikuku na ihe masị na ikuku ga-eru anyị aka n'ụbọchị taa bụ ụbọchị bụrụ eke ngị na Chukwu ngị na ngị na-enye Naịjirịa na ozi ngị na-enye na Naịjirịa ozi ngị na-agwụ nsị ọha mee onye ọbụla mama aka nzu na aka nzu dị mma na we are whiter than snow na nzu enwe ntụpụ na Igbo na nzu bụ omenala Igbo niile na nzu bụ izizi a na-enye mmadụ na mmadụ bịa ebe mmadụ na ihe anyị na-ekwu okwu n'ụbọchị nke taa Chukwu Okike abịa ma na-ekwu ihe anyị na-ekwu okwu bụ Biafra ka anyị na-ekwu okwu bụ nwoke ọ bụ nwaanyị ọ bụ ndị onye ọbụla wherever they are planning evil against the total restoration of the kingdom of Chukwu Okike abịa ma na House of Government House of Assembly House of Senate House of Rep, local government chairman, councilorship, community leaders, whatever they are planning evil against the children of the Most High, against Biafra restoration, against our leader, also against the Prime Minister of Biafra government in Israel, our brother Maazị Simon Ekpa. When I say the Chukwu Okike abịa ma okwu ọjọọ dị nke egwu, gọvanọ ahụ wekwa n'ụbọchị taa bụ ụbọchị bụrụ eke n'oge jiri aha ozu gbasa na eke ozu akpọsa.
All right. It's quite unfortunate, but wow. Wow, 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 wow. Wow, wow. Okay. We have to continue, but I think this is going to be the last one. If it happens again, then I will have no other option than to close the broadcast and then start again tomorrow. I don't like when I'm in a high spirit, something like this, you know, trying to draw me backwards. I don't like it. So let's continue. My brother said, why not play it as an audio? It is not from the video. The issue is not from the video. The video can play even without interruption, but the software that we are using requires maximum capacity, maximum quality for network to carry the, you know, the software we are using for the broadcast. You must have a top quality network. Yeah. If I want to use normal YouTube Live, there is YouTube Live. If you go to YouTube Live, you can just click go live and then you are on. You will be broadcasting without any interruption. even with the lowest of network, you can still broadcast if you go live directly on YouTube. But we don't work with YouTube because with YouTube Live, you can't do anything. You can only just face the camera and speak. You can't do anything. All the things we do, both the videos we bring to the screen, the pictures, the pictorial evidences and all that, you can't be able to do those things with YouTube Live or Facebook Live. So that's why we have a certain software that we use for broadcast that will enable you, to do all those things, to bring all those evidences and all that to the screen, and it plays normal. And this software, we pay for it. We pay for it, and they give us very good service. But the problem is that your network must be on the top for it to serve you properly. That is how it works. So, but it's okay. Let's continue, please. If you can no longer hear my voice, let me know. But the last one will, cause the end of this very broadcast. But it's not going to end here, because we must do the same thing we have planned to do this very evening to this Okoko. Because I've gathered some other videos from his likes, the people that he worked together with. The likes of Okechukwu Isi Guzoro and all of them, some of their old videos, both how they connived with the Fulani terrorist government to kidnap Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and everything. How they called for the head of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, and how the table has turned, and how they even celebrated when Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was rendered to the Zoological Republic. How they claimed and bragged on camera how the kidnap and rendition of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu will bring end to the Biafra agitation, the Biafra liberation, not agitation. How they bragged to televisions, conventional, so-called conventional TV stations in the zoo, that the rendition of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has brought an end to the Biafra liberation. These criminals you see today praising Mazi Nnamdi Kanu because we now have somebody called Simon Ekpa. Because Simon Ekpa is giving it to them woto. That one no they hear. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu used to hear. Yet they was calling for his head. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was listening to the criminals that surrounded him, the criminal DOS. Yet